Morning, everyone. It is 10 a.m. I'll call the meeting to order this morning. Please join me in rising to sing O Canada.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, would you take the roll call, please?
Councillor Mackey,
Present.
Councillor McKay, Councillor Carlton, Councillor Pringle, Councillor McQueen is present, Councillor Nielsen, Councillor Patterson, Councillor Dickert,
Present.
Councillor Kentner, Councillor Keaveney, Councillor Body, Councillor Gregg, Warden Milne,
Present.
Councillor Dobreen, Councillor Matrosovs, Councillor Borneo is also present, Councillor Eccles, and Councillor Hutchinson is online.
Present. Excuse me, present.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. I want to begin this morning by respectfully acknowledging that we are gathering on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe Nation, the people of the Three Fires known as Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations. And further, we give thanks to the Chippewas of Saugeen and the Chippewas of Nawash, known collectively as the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation, the traditional keepers of these lands and waters since time immemorial. To our south lies the traditional territories of the Six Nations of the Grand River and the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. We are dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture and committed to moving forward in the spirit of truth, reconciliation, and friendship with all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. Is there any declaration of interest related to any item on today's council agenda? Not seeing any. If one should arise, you can, of course, declare it at any time. Adoption of the minutes of the council meeting and committee of the whole meeting minutes dated October 24th of this year. Someone care to move those? Councillor Nielsen, Councillor Patterson. All those in favor? That is carried. We have the council and committee of the whole meeting or closed meeting minutes dated October 24th. Councillor Keaveney, Councillor Dobreen, thank you. Will second. Any discussion? All those in favor? That is carried. We have the public meeting minutes for the official plan amendment 23 regarding rural permitted uses and other policies dated November 7th. Someone care to move the Councillor Matrosovs? Thank you. Councillor Mackey. Any discussion? All those in favor? That is carried. We have no closed meeting matters related to those items. We have a report regarding the Board of Health minutes dated September 7th. Is Dr. Era joining us this morning? No update on that. But the minutes are there. Councillor, thing to add perhaps? No? Okay. Someone care to move receipt of those? Councillor Carlton and Councillor Pringle. Any discussion? All those in favor? That is carried. Confirming bylaw is there for our attention. Someone care to move it? Councillor Body and Councillor Echo. All those in favor? That is carried. News and celebrations. Maybe I'll start with, I know we have, Councillor Keaveney, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Warden, and good morning, everyone. And I just wanted to talk today about our Christmas on the Bay event that's coming up the weekend of the 28th, 29th of November and the 1st of December in our Market Square. This is the 3rd annual. This is an absolutely beautiful market designed after a Christmas European type of market. Lots of handmade gifts and treats and great Christmas shopping, entertainment all weekend long, each day from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. And I encourage everyone to come out and see. It's beautifully decorated. The booths, the stalls are just, it's phenomenal. It's just really a spectacular event. And so come out and support our community and our volunteers. Thank you.
Thank you, Shirley. Retail therapy is always good for anybody, and it's as good a spot to start as any. Anyone else? Pat, do you have something you wanted to bring to our attention?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Warden. I just wanted to do to show a short video here on our new roundabout at Gray Road 3 and 4. So just to talk about it, for some background, it was funding through the Ontario Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program, Rural and Northern Communities Funding Stream, a very catchy name, in 2019. So almost as long as the name was how long we had to do this, which was really good of a grant. We had lots of time because we got in 2019 and we just constructed it this year. And normally the grants don't really give you that long to do the work. So we were very happy with that because there was a lot of land acquisitions to do the design, utility relocations, roundabouts can be a lot of work. So having that kind of lead time for a grant was excellent. We got 910,000 from the federal government and 606,000 from the province. So I want to thank some people in the project here, the residents for one. It was a pretty long detour, both in time and distance, and they were very accommodating. The residents right in the area were quite good to work with. West Gray, they showed we had increased traffic on their roads and a lot of increased traffic on roads that weren't our detour, of course, people finding their way. MTE was our consultant on the project. Rubos Farm Services was great to work with. There was a lot of changes as the job went on that they were very accommodating. And Gray County staff. So Brady Merrifield filmed this video with the drone, Trevor Ireton, our engineering manager, and Chris Thompson, our contract administrator. And I want to thank Olivia and Rob because they did a lot of the video editing, a lot of public engagement stuff that was posted on Facebook, and just reading the social media postings. I have done a lot for this job. If you want to start feeling not feeling too good about yourself, just start reading social media, I guess. But in that vein, there is a few things I just maybe it would make the social media discussion more pointed or more focused and truthful. But one thing I just wanted to bring up about roundabouts is they have been proven safer in basically all instances with a reduction in serious collisions. You just don't get those T-bones and left turning in front of somebody accidents that are the really serious results. Another thing I just want to mention, the landscape mound in the middle is there on purpose. There's a lot of, the chatter that people don't like that they can't see the lanes on the other side. Really, it is supposed to make you kind of look to the left where the cars are coming from. They show increased traffic flow, reduced speeds. And as far as the cost, there's a lot of talk about costs, of course. Although they are, a bit more upfront, the life cycle costs are noticeably cheaper. There's no hydro bills to pay other than the illumination, which is there anyway, and non-ongoing repairs. So anyway, that's enough for me talking. I just want to show this video of the new roundabout that we're very proud of.
Thank you, Pat. And indeed, I love roundabouts. I hate sitting at stoplights, so I love them. And I did learn something out of, you talk about chatter on social media. I didn't realize you're supposed to signal when you're leaving the turnout or the roundabout rather. I didn't know that. I just go in there and leave when I want to. So people behind me were probably cursing me, but anyway, yeah, exactly. Right. Nobody's hit me and I haven't run into them. So I guess it hasn't been that big of a deal, but yeah, you're supposed to signal when you're leaving the roundabout. Who knew? All right. Again, thank you, Pat. Youth Climate Action Conference update. Megan, you've got something to share with us this morning too. Welcome.
Yeah, before we begin, also, I just want to welcome Linda Swanson back from maternity leave as our manager of climate change initiatives, and a huge thank you to Rebecca Dannard, who will have her last day next week. So over a week ago, the Grey County Climate Team co-hosted over 130 elementary students and over 30 educators from 27 schools across Grey Bruce at the Harmony Center in Owen Sound for the 3rd Youth Climate Action Conference. This event was an incredible success and a true testament to collaboration in our community. We partnered with 2 organizations to organize this event. Local organization, the Sustainability Project, who has been involved with the event since the first conference in spring 2023. They fundraised over $10,000 in local sponsorships and individual contributions through crowdfunding, as well as lots of volunteer time and recruiting volunteers. And also a new partner this year was Learning for a Sustainable Future, and they're a national charity that organizes youth forums like this across the country. Earlier this year, they had done one in Newfoundland and Winnipeg. Their involvement brought approximately $30,000 in federal funding to the event, which allowed for supply coverage for teachers and action project funding. Also involved, close coordination with Blue Water District School Board and Bruce Grey Catholic School Board to register students and teachers for the event and coordinate transportation. A number of senior administrators from the 2 boards attended and were really pleased with the day. This one-day event provided a platform for grades 6 to 8 students, their teachers, and community organizations to come together, learn, and collaborate on climate action. In addition to the organizing team, we had over 20 organizations involved as sponsors, workshop facilitators, and in the climate fair at lunch. While students were in workshops, teachers received a full day of professional development about incorporating climate change into their curriculum. Here's a few photos from those workshops that students attended. And then also each participating school left with a check for $500 to implement an action project in their school or community, which we look forward to sharing in the spring. So a huge thank you to our partners, sponsors, and volunteers for making the day a success. More photos. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, Megan. And unfortunately, I didn't get there, but I heard it was an amazing day. The kids loved it. The teachers loved it. The organizers did a great job. So thank you so much for coming this morning and sharing that story. This past Friday night, I had the good pleasure and the honor of being at the Grey Roots 20th anniversary. I brought greetings on behalf of the county council, and it was a wonderful event. Staff did an incredible job of making sure the evening was special. I thanked the staff and commended Grey Roots and the volunteers, past and present, for the role they've played in telling our story. And indeed, it is our story. It's important to have a place like Grey Roots. It's truly a gem, and I look forward to seeing what the next 20 years holds for our museum there and archives. I had a conversation with a couple of people at the event, and I made mention of Delton Becker in my remarks. Of course, he was one of the, or probably the one champion that really pushed hard 20 years ago to make sure that facility came to fruition. But the conversation I had was, can you imagine if we were trying to build that now? It would be really difficult, I think. So we're fortunate. And I made the point of asking the question, what was the cost 20 years ago? Nobody remembers. But what's the value of that facility now? Priceless. And I think everyone agrees that it's a great facility. They had the, what I'll call the back room open for people to go back and have a look see. And I love museums, so I could probably spend a week back in there rooting through what amazing things they've got and the amount of stuff we have. Although I see there's ironically, there's a report on today's agenda to get rid of some stuff, but or sorry, disperse. I shouldn't say it quite so harshly. So anyway, Savannah, do you have anything further to add on that one?
Thank you very much, Warden. We were so grateful for the night. I think we had an amazing group of people, like you said, past, present, involved in Grey Roots. And there was just kind of an air about the night where people were really there to reminisce and talk about why this place matters so much to them and the vision that they see for the future, and then getting to discover things that they didn't really realize. And it was a really nice unveiling partially of the new Grey Gallery. The staff worked very hard. I think they said it was about 12,000 steps on Friday before everyone got there, trying to get as much into those new designs as possible because we are still working through the development. But it was just a really cool night. And to see the museum at night was very different. It's a whole different aura. So we want to use that and grow on that theme next year. But thank you so much. It was a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Savannah. And they had good food and there was some cider, so it was all good. Does any counselors have any other good news celebrations? Counselor Nielsen.
There it goes. Thank you. Good morning, Warden. I just wanted to draw attention and invite everyone to the 2024 Peace Luncheon being held in Grey Highlands. It's being put on by the Grey Highlands Peace Committee, but it really isn't just Grey Highlands. There are members from Southgate that are part of the Peace Committee. It really is a community event. The theme this year is Green Grey Communities, a celebration of efforts past and present to make our community green, flowering, and productive. So it takes place this Saturday, November 16th at 11:30 a.m. at the Flesherton Kinplex. I just welcome everybody to come to that. It's been a few years now. I can't remember when the first one was started, but it's always a great event every year in the municipality. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dane. Councillor Keaveney.
Thank you, Warden Milne. I just, some of us were at Stone Tree last night for a really fun-filled evening of celebrating Francesca Dobbin, who has been there for all 20 years of say it the United Way Bruce Grey, and it was really very some great speeches. Kevin offered one of the best, I thought, and really we are very fortunate to have dedicated people like Francesca doing what they do in the organizations that are associated with our whole social services. So it was a great time, and she spent a lot of time behind bars last night, but they raised a lot of money as a result.
Thank you, Ross. Indeed, it was a good event. Nelson. Okay. Well, thank you very much for all of that. We need a motion to adjourn from the council portion of the meeting. Councillor Nielsen, Councillor Carlton, all those in favor? That is carried. So we'll just take a minute to do that. Thank you, Rob. I'll call our committee of the whole meeting agenda to order here this morning. I need a motion to amend the agenda due to an update regarding the Thornbury Acres matter. And the motion would read that the agenda be amended to add an additional closed item regarding litigation or potential litigation and that notice of this item be waived. We need a 2/3 majority. When someone please, Councillor Mackey, Councillor DeBreen, any discussion? All those in favor? I think we got our 2/3. Thank you so much. Is there any declaration of interest related to any matter on this agenda? Seeing none. Any business arising from minutes? Any delegations? I don't think so. Determination of items requiring separate discussion on the consent agenda. Anyone wish any of those be removed for further direction? Councillor Eccles.
Nothing to be removed, but just one thing on the minutes of the committees. Noticed that some of the committees have listed, and this is more towards Tara, all the members, and then some of them just have the consistency in that, and some of them just the members that were absent. Just for consistency, wondered whether we could get that these are the members that were there and the ones that were absent.
Thank you. Good point. Thank you, Councillor Eccles. Anyone else? Councillor McQueen.
Yes, I'd like to pull 6D, please. 6D. 6D, I like that.
Yeah, because we had a motion.
Oh. Okay.
So to be clear, which one are we pulling? Okay, good. All right, any others? Seeing none, would someone care to move the acceptance of all the other items? Councillor Matrosovs, save and accept 6B or D rather. Councillor Eccles, second. I have 6D as in Dornell. Is that correct? Yes, okay. The Budget and Finance Committee meeting minutes dated October 28th. Okay. Oh, okay, that's the confusion. All right, sorry. So I'll look to the clerk for a little clarification of where we go from here. Paper stands, paper rules as always. So we'll 6D is the item that is being removed for further consideration. We won't forget it now. Is right. Exactly. Did I have a mover and seconder for the rest? I think I did. Yep. Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much. Okay. We have one item for direction and discussion, and then we'll come back to the budget. Anne Marie, welcome. And I need a mover and seconder for that one, please. Councillor Eccles, seconded by Councillor Kentner. Thank you. Anne Marie, please.
Good morning, County Council. This report is to obtain approval for a tender award for an elevator replacement at 305 14th Street, which is our high rise, and award it to Alan Hastings. The reason I'm here is that it is over our $500,000 limit and requires council approval according to our purchase policy. Our high rise is an 8-story or 8-floor apartment building. It has 2 elevator cars. The current elevator system has reached its end of its useful life. It requires frequent repairs, and those parts are becoming harder for us to find. So for the scope of work, it was developed by Rooney, Irving and Associates, and we issued a tender to modernize 2 geared traction elevators, including new cars, motors, electrical systems, mechanical systems, life safety systems, and any guarding equipment. This is the first time we've replaced an elevator, so new experience for us. The tender was posted in August, and we actually did not receive any bids at that time. And then it was reposted in October. We received the 1 bid as shown. Our budget was $800,000. It did come in 851, 871 plus applicable taxes. We are going to put it into the 2025 budget and add the $66,000 required from our reserves. That way we will be able to continue next year. We want to let the bidder know right away, because we know that they'll have to order parts and it'll take a while for those to come in before the elevator can be installed. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Anne Marie. Are there any questions? Counselor Nielsen?
Just a quick question in terms of the logistics of the repair. Being the size and scope you're saying that there's two elevators that operate. We'll be replacing kind of one at a time, so there'll be a working elevator. Just want to make sure that the residents wouldn't see any major interruptions.
Hopefully they don't have to do any more stair walking than they do frequently as it is. Any other questions? Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you, Anne Marie. Okay, we'll go back to 6D, which is the Budget and Finance Committee minutes dated October 28th. Councillor McQueen, what would you wish to have done with those, or you're looking for an amendment, or? Go ahead.
Mr. Wilson. And thank you for this time to discuss the minutes from that committee. And just as note, I know on those minutes, I think going back to what Councillor Eccles was saying, it didn't say who the chair was. There were some points missing in that in those minutes, just in the sense of what I noticed in there. But more importantly, so talks in there about the there was no background information on the October 28th agenda that was in front of these minutes, but so going back to those minutes itself, it did talk about a slightly below a 4% budget increase. So I'm going to speak to that. Start with to me, I think 4% is too high for a Grey County council budget. It did talk in those minutes that we in growth received $2,025,436,000 in growth. And that's the largest we've ever received. So I know probably we see things are slowing down out there. Obviously, the growth assessment is catching up, or would be coming in from those buildings that are getting finalized and final assessed, and then coming in as the growth at the 2016 level, as we understand. So I just feel that the 4% is way too high. I know from a lower tier perspective, those that are on OPP are seeing a huge increase. Again, it was on CBC this morning. There may be some relief coming. I don't know. There was correspondence on our budget, or on our agenda today from the town of Wasaga Beach that we received. So we know we're going to get pressure there, along with other areas of our local budget. So personally, myself, I won't be supporting a 4% budget at the county here. I think I'd like to see maybe more under a 3%, or maybe even a 2% budget. I think there's ways that we can look at that. I'll go back to the minutes of the Urban Road and Road Exchange Task Force, and originally we had a 465,000 suggested increase on some roads to be changed, but then it jumped to $2,095,880 increase of some other changes. So I think this did come to our county council a few meetings back, that there's maybe between a need and a want. So again, I'm raising these points, that it's early in the days. I know at the budget committee meeting, there was no background information on those numbers. Obviously, it's at the committee level still. So, well, I went here this morning. I couldn't seem to find any link to all of the budget itself.
Just, I have a point of order here. Councillor DeBreen.
Thank you. Good morning, Warden Milne. These are minutes from a meeting, and it hasn't actually been presented in a report to county council for debate. We're already hearing an opinion of where it should be, and I'm just wondering if this is in order. Thank you.
Good point. Good point. I mean, Councillor McQueen makes some good points as well, but I'll have to agree with Councillor DeBreen. Do you have a question regarding the minutes, or any? Are there any mistakes in the minutes, in your opinion?
Well, the one was, it didn't say who the chair was, but the point I'm raising is this is at a committee level. We've changed our process, that we do have committee at this stage. We will be seeing those numbers. I guess it's more of a comment to the minutes that I'm stating that 4% is too high.
Fair enough. Good point. Absolutely. Absolutely. And there'll be lots of discussion, and I think we can agree it's going to be an extremely difficult budget year, as it was last year. Any other discussion regarding this particular item? Oh, I need a mover and seconder to accept that. Councillor Eccles and Councillor Gregg. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That is carried. All right, okay, closed meeting matters. We need a motion or a mover and a seconder to that the committee of the whole does now go into closed session pursuant to section 239 of the Municipal Act as amended and regarding staffing. Personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. That's number one. And number two is litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative affecting the municipality. Yep, and we're going to do the litigation planning item first. Someone care to move that, please? Councillor Pringle, Councillor Patterson. All those in favor? That is carried. So, yep, we'll do that too.